This is not a review. This is a cross-examination. Today we're putting Wu-Tang and American Saga on trial. Because when you control the story, you control the legacy. And when that legacy belongs to Wu-Tang Clan, that story becomes sacred. So what did the show get right? What did it exaggerate? And what quietly reshaped history for television? Let's talk about it.
I just remember just hearing them beats for the first time.
Almost like striking back. We'll show them.
The series paints Staten Island like a pressure chamber. Small apartments, street politics, young men navigating survival. That part feels real. Wu-Tang did not come from comfort. They came from tension. But early on, the show establishes one clear center: RZA. He's framed as the mastermind from the beginning, the calm strategist, the man with the 5-year plan. Now, historically, RZA absolutely was the architect of the sound, but the show presents his leadership as almost inevitable, like destiny had already chosen him. Reality was messier. Wu-Tang was friction, strong personalities, street affiliations colliding with creative ambition. Raekwon and Ghostface were not instantly unified. There were real tensions in those early days.
Y'all hungry? Y'all ready for this oatmeal? This is my comic. Took my comic from you. Oh, this is an old one. This is right before Tony Stark got paralyzed. He was in a wheelchair too, just like y'all, but he was still a superhero. What happened? Oh, what happened? He got shot. Yeah, his ex-girl put one through him. See, this nigga fucked up all the bad guys. The Hulk, whoever. But in the end, all it took was a crazy-ass bitch to lay Iron Man down. Yo, don't move, son!
Which brings us to one of the most talked about moments, the shooting scene. The show dramatizes it like a breaking point, like everything could have collapsed right there. And yes, members have acknowledged real tension. There were divisions. But television compresses time. Years of energy can be turned into one explosive scene. Conflict existed, but drama amplifies. That's how storytelling works. Then there's Divine, the business mind, the negotiator, the one who helped structure Wu-Tang's revolutionary deal, RZA's older brother. That contract strategy was genius. Allowing members to sign solo deals under one collective umbrella changed the industry. The show gives Divine strong focus, and rightfully so. But movements like Wu-Tang are ecosystems, not just individuals. Television simplifies ecosystems because audiences follow faces, not systems. Now let's talk about the music. When the show builds toward Enter the Wu-Tang, it feels almost prophetic, like success was waiting. But in 1993, that sound was not safe. Dust-heavy beats, minimal polish, kung fu samples, no radio formula. It was raw, it was risky. The show captures hunger, but it can't fully recreate how against the grain that album felt at the time. That danger was artistic, not just street level. And here's where the show truly shines: the performances. If this had been my first exposure to Wu-Tang, I would have believed it, completely. The casting did not just resemble the members, they studied them. The posture, the cadence, the silence between words. The standout was Old Dirty Bastard. That performance did not feel like imitation. It felt inhabited. The unpredictability, the vulnerability under the chaos, the humor that could flip into tension instantly. It captured his spirit without turning him into parody. That is difficult to do.
Ask who the illest and they saying Ace on. for me, baby girl, they playing our song. If anyone try doing me wrong, they gon' make me have to get up in their ass like a thong. I keep it dirty to the core, rhymes galore. Everything raw, sharp like a tiger's claw. I'm dropping bombs like I'm going to war. With the 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4.
Across the board, the performances elevated the series, because hip-hop biopics live or die on embodiment. You can recreate outfits, you can rebuild studio sessions, but if the soul does not transfer, the illusion breaks. There's another reason this series stands out, and it's something most music biopics completely miss. Wu-Tang, an American Saga, doesn't just dramatize events, it visualizes music. It takes you inside the creative process. From RZA's perspective as a producer, beats aren't just sounds, they're physical. In several scenes, instruments appear in front of him in a dark room, actual musicians playing in real time, as if the music is assembling itself in his mind. That's powerful, because producing isn't cinematic on its own. It's someone nodding in a studio, twisting knobs, looping samples. That doesn't translate visually. So the show externalizes the imagination. It turns sound into vision. And then there's Old Dirty Bastard. When he's writing for his solo work, the series shows him imagining himself as a comedian in a club, on stage, working the crowd. Because for ODB, rhythm wasn't just flow, it was performance, it was unpredictability, it was timing. That scene tells you more about his artistry than any montage ever could. Most biopics reduce music to background noise, a studio argument, a quick recording session montage, then the finished hit plays. The creative process becomes an afterthought. But here, the music is the story, the imagination is the story, and that's rare. That's something almost every hip-hop biopic has missed. They become dramas about musicians, instead of stories about music. Wu-Tang, an American Saga, understands that the art itself is cinematic, and it treats it that way. Which is why I'll say something bold. This is the strongest hip-hop biopic since 8 Mile. Now compare that to Straight Outta Compton, a huge cultural film. But when key figures are directly involved in producing their own story, certain narratives get polished. Some conflicts soften, some perspectives shrink. That is the reality of authorship. Then there's All Eyez on Me. Visually, the actor resembled Tupac, but resemblance is not embodiment. Tupac was intensity, contradiction, charisma, presence, and that film never fully captured that gravity. Wu-Tang, an American Saga, works because it prioritized performance over polish, spirit over surface.
Getting smashed by center block, bow, now it's all over. Niggas seeing pink hearts, yellow moons, orange stars, and green clovers.
Now, here's the deeper conversation. Biographical dramas are not documentaries. They are interpretations. Timelines shift, moments combine, dialogue is imagined. The question isn't whether changes were made. The question is how those changes shape cultural memory. For some viewers, this show will be their first introduction to Wu-Tang, which means this version risks becoming the official memory. And that matters, because hip-hop history is lineage. So, what's the verdict? It's not flawless history, but it is powerful storytelling. It captures hunger, it captures tension, it captures ambition. It amplifies certain moments, it condenses others. But at its core, it respects the myth without removing the humanity. And that's why it resonates. Soon, I'm ranking every major hip-hop biopic, the classics, the overrated, the disappointments, the hidden gems. That debate is coming. But for now, what's your verdict? What moment felt completely real, and what felt exaggerated? Let's talk about it. Subscribe to Rap Theater, your front row to everything hip-hop.